Hey everybody, how's it going? Raf here. Today I'm very excited to present to you the very first installment of this new series I'm starting called Retros of the Past. It's basically a series in which I'll be exploring some of my very favorite retros that I own from, you guessed it, the past. And I'm going to be talking about the history of said shoe, how I acquired it, and in certain cases, how it impacted the sneaker culture or sneaker community. I've had this pair since 2019. This is the 2002 retro of the Nike Air Revolution in this OG white and Varsity Red colorway. So I'm going to start off with the box. I usually don't showcase the boxes in my videos too much because I just don't think it's that big of a deal. But when you do have an OG sneaker and you do have the OG box to go with it, I certainly think it's part of the whole experience. So here's what the size label says. Air Revolution in white, Varsity Red, black, and neutral gray. Those are the official colors. And like I said, this is an OG colorway from 1987. So now we have all of our beautiful natural lighting hitting the shoe perfectly. I'm going to tell you about the history. So it was originally designed by Tinker Hatfield, of course, the legendary designer that we all know and love and cherish today. It was the first basketball shoe to introduce visible air, as you can see. Some people might think that it stole the tooling from the Air Jordan 3, but in reality it's the other way around. These ones came out a year before, and although it wasn't the first basketball shoe to introduce air, it was, like I said, the first ones to introduce that beautiful bubble that we all love and enjoy so much. Now, the materials. This shoe is comprised of about 3 different leathers. You got smooth leather right here, you got perforated leather right here, and you got tumbled leather right here, as well as a bit of mesh on the tongue. This leather is honestly incredible. To get some leather like this these days, it'd probably have to be like a collab or like some super hyped release. As you can see, it just caves in at the touch. I'm barely applying any pressure right here. And even the smooth grain leather, it's super nice, very comfortable on feet. I can't really wear these anymore just because of the midsole starting to crumble, but honestly, that's sort of my fault. There was a long period of time, about a year and a half ago, where I actually like showcased these in my room. These were basically in the middle of my room on a shelf. And I did the mistake of leaving the blinds open many times, which definitely sped up the yellowing process and the process of like the polyurethane breaking down, unfortunately. But I did get my fair share of wear out of these. Fortunately, I'm very happy that I got to wear these. It's definitely not a shoe that you see often, and one of the reasons I like that one so much is because if you've ever seen or felt the 2013 retro, of which that shoe had 2 retro runs, the first one in 2002 just like these, and in 2013. And I gotta say, honestly, the 2013 probably has to be one of the very worst retro that Nike has ever put out. They completely changed the shape of it all. This is basically a high top shoe, as you can see. And keep in mind that even this retro is not 100% accurate. The OGs were even higher, if you can believe it. Like, that's a tall shoe, man. I can't even lie. That's about, like, I don't know, it's probably like 4 or 5 inches, honestly. So a really tall shoe, and the OGs were even taller. But basically in 2013, what happened is they completely changed the shape. It basically became a mid-top. Like, the strap, I think, like arrived like right here. The materials were bad. They changed a bunch of stuff. They completely omitted to put the mesh on the tongue. It was just basically the super cheap white leather all around. And one other thing that they did is that they stamped on a big like black stamp that just read like Air Revolution. It's not that it looked bad, it just wasn't true to the OG at all. And as we all know, Nike's done some really poor retros in the past, but these ones definitely are contender for some of the worst. And one thing I really like about these is, first off, how plush they are. You can see like the padding on these is incredible. I really wish I could wear them. I'm probably gonna soul swap them down the line because I definitely want to keep on wearing these, and I know that they won't make them like this anymore. I just know it won't happen. As much as when you want to reimagine a product like they say, or make it as true to the OG, it'll never be of this quality. Again, here's the size tag. Production date is April 17th, 2002, size 11. And the strap, of course, super iconic part of that shoe. As you can see, mine is starting to break away a little bit, but that's fine. Nobody really sees that. And one thing I wanted to mention that I found particularly interesting about these is that the OGs from 87, 88 had a lot of PEs. I don't think I've ever seen that many PEs for like a certain shoe. But if you want to see more of the PEs, I invite you to check out my homie Timmy's page, Timmy the Tiger on Instagram. He has a lot of those. Well, first off, he has a lot of OGs. He has a lot of OG Air Revolutions and a lot of PEs as well. Now, one thing I find interesting is that one inaccuracy that these have compared to the OG is that the OGs had like this blue like pivot point. It was colored in blue, which is I find super weird. It's because like there was no other blue accents on the shoe, so I don't know what that was about. But personally, I prefer this, even though nobody's really gonna see it. I still think it was worth mentioning, and I'm very happy with how good these are as far as like condition goes. You gotta keep in mind this is a 21-year-old shoe, which is crazy to think about because I'm 22 years old going on 23. This shoe is damn near older than me, and you can see the star loss is not heavy at all. They pretty much have all of their stars left. Heel drag is minimal. I actually acquired these off of Facebook. Like I said, back in 2019, there was this dude, this super OG guy in the game that was selling a bunch of his shoes. He was basically moving away to another country, to his home country, and he basically had a bunch of crazy rare stuff for sale. And these are not particularly rare. I don't think they made these in any like kind of limited quantity, but what makes these rare is that you just don't see these often. Like, that's it. People just don't really have these, or if they do, they're not really in that good of condition, which is unfortunate because, like I said, you know that they won't make any retros like this good again. It certainly just won't happen, and that's why I like to hang on to my older pairs. And these are the original laces that came in the shoe. One of the very few inaccuracies, like I said, from the OG. The OGs had the regular like cotton, like flat style laces. This is more of a rope. And you can see the polyurethane like eyelets right here. What I find interesting in those years is that I'm guessing to save money. I don't think it's necessarily for like design purposes. I think it's really to save money, is that a lot of shoes borrowed from their same brand like counterparts, like other models. Like this is the Air Jordan 3 borrowed this from the Air Red, as well as the midsole and stuff like that. Just find it super interesting. And yeah, definitely gonna sole swap these down the line. Definitely a goal of mine, because like I said, these are not going to be made again like this. Like, look at that beautiful leather, man. That's gorgeous. The craftsmanship on these, the stitching as well, just a really fire pair, as you can see. And honestly, I don't think that they look bad even with the oxidation. These just have like that early 2000s Nike retro feel, which if you've owned a pair, like you know how it feels. It's a really good feeling to put it's a really good feeling to put them on your feet. They're really so plush, and as you can see, my air bubble is kind of foggy and the PU is starting to crumble away, so definitely not gonna wear these anymore. Last time I wore these was probably a year and a half ago, maybe. I remember I did like a Radio Raheem themed like photo shoot with like some 80s like short shorts, some super high white socks, and like just leaving them like unstrapped just like he did in the movie. Super fun like photo shoot. I remember that day. It was nice. And one thing I find interesting, I don't know if I mentioned it, but usually when they have like Nike Airs like on the same panel, kind of like on the Air Max 90, you know, it's like directly below the Nike, but in that case they like separated it, which I find super interesting. You don't really see that. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm very happy that I got to showcase this beautiful, gorgeous pair for you guys. Thank you once again for watching. Leave a like if you can, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next installment of Retros of the Past. Thank you very much. Have a good day, guys.